Most burglaries don't happen because criminals are brave. They happen because they're lazy. They look for the easiest, quietest, quickest target. A dark house, an unlocked window, a door without reinforcement. That's all it takes to invite trouble. But here's the good news: you can make your home look like a fortress, not a free-for-all, in just 30 minutes. Every year, millions of homes are broken into. Yet nearly 70% of those break-ins could have been prevented with simple, low-cost changes. Burglars don't want to fight. They want speed and silence. If your home looks complicated, risky, or noisy to enter, they'll move on to someone else instantly. This video isn't about expensive cameras or high-tech systems. It's about practical, fast, psychological defense. The kind that tells a thief, not worth it. In half an hour, you can transform your home's first impression from easy pickings to don't even try. Let's break down the 30-minute home fortress plan. 6 quick steps that make burglars skip your house and head somewhere else. Because in a world full of easy targets, you just have to look like the hardest one. 1. Quick setup. What you need before you start. Before you begin turning your home into a fortress, understand this: security isn't about owning fancy equipment. It's about strategy. A burglar only needs 30 seconds to decide whether your home is worth the risk. Your job is to make those 30 seconds full of red flags. And for that, you don't need a professional system. You just need a few smart, affordable tools and a plan. Start with the basics. Grab a flashlight, a few motion sensor lights or solar-powered lamps, and a couple of simple door and window alarms, the kind you can get for the price of a pizza. These small gadgets create what burglars hate most: unpredictability. Add a few zip ties or cords to quickly secure gates, handles, or loose locks. If you have a smart plug or light timer, even better. It lets you create the illusion of someone being home when you're not. The point isn't to build a fortress of steel. It's to make your home look alive and alert. Next, get a pen and notepad, or your phone, and do a mental walk around of your property. Stand across the street and ask yourself, if I were a thief, where would I try to get in? Look for weak spots, dark corners, open windows, hidden doorways, or thick shrubs that could hide someone. The idea is to make these places visible and noisy. You're not fortifying a castle, you're removing opportunities. Also, prepare 1 or 2 items that create presence. A radio or an old smartphone playing audio can simulate conversation or activity. Burglars scan for silence. If they hear movement or voices, they think someone's home. A light on a timer adds the same psychological barrier. Finally, understand the 3 golden principles of a strong defense: visibility, delay, and detection. Visibility means no one can approach your house unnoticed. Delay means even if they try, they'll struggle and waste time. Detection means they'll make noise or draw attention before they succeed. Everything in your quick setup serves one of these 3 purposes. Once you've got your basic tools and awareness in place, you're ready to move fast. This 30-minute plan isn't about perfection. It's about transformation. In half an hour, you'll turn your home from a quiet target into a noisy, unpredictable, and visibly occupied space. Exactly the kind burglars avoid. 2. First 5 minutes, immediate curb appeal and visibility. 1:30, 6:30. The very first minutes of the 30-minute plan are about one thing: being seen. Burglars pick targets where they can work in the shadows, hidden entry points, overgrown shrubbery, and dark porches that give them cover. The fastest, highest return actions you can take in the first 5 minutes all increase visibility and the impression of occupancy. Think of this stage as making your house shout occupied and risky from the curb. Start by clearing sightlines. Walk quickly around the front and sides of your house and move anything that blocks a clear view of doors and windows. Trim back low bushes, remove trash bins or stacked materials that create hiding spots, and push any loose ladders or tools inside the garage. Even small, temporary moves, shifting a potted plant or pulling a garden chair away from a window, stop thieves from ducking behind obstacles and give neighbors and passers-by a better chance to notice someone approaching. If you live in an apartment, open the curtains in a way that lets light spill into common hallways or leave a balcony light on to reduce dark nooks. Next, flood the exterior with light. Turn on porch and pathway lights. Switch on a porch lamp or plug a lamp into an outdoor outlet. If you have a motion sensor light, make sure it's powered and unobstructed. If not, a couple of inexpensive solar stake lights placed along a walkway will still break up the dark and make approach roads obvious. Light is a burglar's enemy because it increases the chance of being seen and short-circuits their expectation of quiet, undetected entry. Create simple signs of life. Park a car visibly in the driveway if you can. An empty driveway is a beacon for opportunists. If a driveway move isn't possible, place a bike, a child's scooter or outdoor gear near the entrance. Visible belongings suggest occupants are home or nearby. Even setting one of the house's interior lights so it's visible from the street and opening a curtain to reveal a silhouette of movement or a TV glow works wonders. The goal is to build a quick narrative someone could come out at any moment. Don't forget to remove temptation at ground level. Move valuables out of sight from windows. Laptops, packages, and visible cash should be stashed or at least moved away from direct view. If someone can peer through a window and see something worthwhile within arm's reach, your other defenses are undermined. Close or partially close blinds where necessary, but avoid making the house look completely shuttered. That can also signal an empty home. A balance works best. Visible lights and partial visibility, not a sealed fortress. Finally, think like an opportunist for 60 seconds. Stand across the street and look at your house. If anything looks easy to access or hidden, change it now. These 5 minutes are low effort, immediate impact. They transform your home from a quiet, dark target into a visible, unpredictable place. And for most burglars, that's enough reason to move on. 3. Next 7 minutes, fortify primary access points, 6:30, 13:30. This is the part where your 30-minute plan stops looking like a quick trick and starts behaving like real physical deterrence. Burglars will usually test entry points first: front door, back door, sliding glass doors, garage. And if those give even a little resistance or noise, most will turn away rather than escalate. Your objective in these 7 minutes is simple. Add immediate, obvious delay to every realistic entry route, so a burglar sees trouble and walks off. Start with the main doors. Engage every lock fully, deadbolts included, and make sure the door is actually latched. Give it a firm push. Use a portable door jammer or a heavy-duty wedge doorstop under the doorknob side. These are cheap, easy to install in seconds, and make kicking or shimming a door much harder. If you don't have a jammer, a wooden chair wedged under the doorknob, or even a robust broom handle jammed diagonally between the floor and the handle, will buy time. For outward swinging doors, use a door brace or a heavy piece of furniture placed behind the door. Quick, invisible resistance is what deters someone who wants speed. Sliding doors are notorious weak points because they can be lifted off their tracks or forced sideways. Slide a wooden dowel, broom handle, or metal rod into the bottom track. It's the classic trick for a reason. It takes seconds, and it prevents the door from being opened even if the lock is compromised. If you can, place a secondary small alarm or even a phone set to a loud ringtone near the track. Any forced entry will create noise and attention. Don't ignore the garage and side gates. Lock the garage door and manually engage any additional latches. If your garage has an internal entry door to the house, make sure that door is locked and braced like your front door. For side gates, loop a sturdy chain or zip tie through the latch and secure it visibly. You want the intruder to see a delay, not find a convenient shortcut. A few quick hardware upgrades can be done in minutes and pay big dividends. Swap the short screws in your strike plates and hinges for 3-inch screws if available. They sink into the framing and stop easy kick-ins. Even replacing 2 or 3 screws per door can be done fast and makes a huge structural difference. If you don't have long screws on hand, note this as an immediate follow-up, but still apply the temporary measures above now. 2 important safety notes. Don't barricade exits in a way that would trap you or your family in case of fire. These measures are meant to delay, not seal. Second, be mindful of pets and children. Avoid leaving dowels or wedges where someone might trip. In these 7 minutes, you're not building an impenetrable vault. You're creating friction. Most burglars choose the path of least resistance. When they encounter visible obstacles, noise risk, and time costs, they move on. Make every likely entry look hard, noisy, or time-consuming, and you've already won more than half the battle. 4. Next 6 minutes, create detection and noise, 13:30, 19:30. Now that the obvious entry points look harder to access, the next priority is to make any attempt noisy and detectable. Burglars hate attention. A single unexpected sound, a bark, a crashing alarm, a human voice, changes the calculation from quick payday to high-risk problem. In this 6-minute stretch, you're not chasing perfection. You're layering simple, loud, believable signs of life that raise the chance an intruder will be caught or scared off. Start by turning on audio in a main living area. A radio or Bluetooth speaker set to a conversational volume does more than fill silence. It signals occupancy. Pick a talk station or podcast with natural pauses and human voices rather than continuous music. Voices imply conversation, movement, and presence. If you have a spare phone, tablet, or old smart speaker, place it near an entry point or a ground floor window so the sound is audible from outside. Keep the volume at a level that a passerby would notice, but not so loud that it annoys neighbors. Think normal conversation, not a concert. If you can, cue a few different tracks or stations so the audio changes. Burglars quickly learn to ignore repetitive noise. Add motion-activated lighting and audio where possible. Turn on motion sensor lights. Ensure they're unobstructed, and plug in any smart lamps on randomized schedules. A lamp that switches on unexpectedly, at odd minutes or in different rooms, creates the illusion someone is moving through the house. If you own smart plugs, set them to activate at irregular intervals or use built-in away modes. The goal is unpredictability. Consistent patterns are detectable and easy to defeat, but randomness is expensive for a criminal to test. Bring in a portable alarm or noisemaker for immediate effect. There are inexpensive door-window alarms that cling on with adhesive and scream when a contact is broken. These take seconds to stick near likely entries. If you don't have one, a phone with a loud alarm tone placed near the door or sliding track will work. Set it to an immediate piercing tone or a recorded human shout, something that draws attention. Even a dropped pot or a can tied to a string that will rattle when a door opens can act as a crude but effective tripwire. Consider playback of specific deterrent sounds. A recording of a dog barking or a pre-recorded hello or who's there, played intermittently, increases perceived risk. Burglars assume a barking dog usually means someone nearby or at least a dog that will alert neighbors. Use this tactic sparingly and sensibly. Repeated, long barking noise can anger neighbors and lead to complaints. Be mindful of false alarms in neighbor relations. Loud devices and repeated triggers can cause alarm fatigue or annoyance if used constantly. Reserve the loudest responses for times you're leaving the house, returning late, or feel particularly vulnerable. Vacation evenings. Communicate with close neighbors if you plan to use audible deterrents often. A quick heads-up prevents unnecessary concerns and keeps community trust intact. Finally, pair detection with an action plan. If your devices trigger or you hear suspicious noise, have a protocol, call someone. Turn on additional lights or record if it's safe to do so. The goal of this 6-minute push is straightforward. Make your home audible, unpredictable, and risky to approach. When a burglar hears movement, sees lights flick on, or is startled by a loud alarm, they almost always move on. Noise is cheap, fast, and psychologically powerful. Use it to turn silence into your strongest deterrent. 5. The next 6 minutes show occupancy and complexity. 1930-25-30. By now you've boosted visibility, added physical delay, and introduced noise. The next step is to make the house look lived in and complicated to the casual thief. Burglars don't want a puzzle they have to solve. They want a quick, low-risk score. If your home screams occupied and too much hassle, they'll move on. This stage is about layering believable, visible cues of life and making entry appear messy, time-consuming, or likely to bring attention. Start with lights in multiple rooms. Use smart plugs, timers, or even manual lamps to create a staggered lighting pattern. A hallway light, a kitchen lamp, and a living room TV glow are perfect. The key is variety and change. A single light left on looks like neglect. Several lights turning on in different rooms suggest movement. If you have smart bulbs, set them on randomized schedules or group scenes so they don't follow a perfect, repeatable pattern. If you don't have tech, set 3 lamps on different timers or simply turn them on by hand while you move through the house. The illusion of activity is immediate and effective. Add audio-visual cues. Put the TV on to a channel with natural speech or a familiar show. Or play a podcast at low to moderate volume so that anyone outside can hear human voices through an open window or thin wall. If you have a spare phone or tablet, place it near a front window or entry point, playing conversational audio intermittently. If possible, switch between different audio sources so the sound changes, reinforcing the idea of different people or ongoing activity. Even a recording of a dog barking, played sometimes, not constantly, increases perceived risk for intruders. Create visual clutter and obstacles at likely entry points. A large trash bin, a folded chair, a stack of boxes, or a visible laundry basket by the door gives the impression of inconvenience. Burglars prefer quick, clean access. Seeing a blocked doorway or a pile of items they'd have to move raises the time and noise cost in their head. Likewise, leave a couple of shoes or a jacket within sight from a window. Very subtle signs that people are moving in and out. Don't overdo this to the point of creating trip hazards for your household, but a few obvious obstacles are a powerful psychological barrier. Display deterrence visibly and credibly. Security signage, alarm system monitored, video surveillance, or even visible cameras makes burglars hesitate. Real cameras are best, but even a clearly placed fake camera or a visible doorbell camera box, empty or real, acts as a signal. Stickers and decals for alarm companies or neighborhood watch programs work the same way. The objective is to increase perceived risk. Even if you don't have a monitored alarm, the assumption that you might is often enough to deter an opportunist who doesn't want to take chances. Simulate complexity by mixing in small, believable unpredictables. A light that turns on, a TV that's on a different channel, and a radio that switches stations. If you have smart home devices, use away or vacation modes that vary which lights or devices come on and at irregular times. If not, manually change something, open a curtain slightly, switch a lamp on in a different room to break a static pattern. Complexity makes a would-be intruder assume you have systems, people, or pets that will notice them. Finally, coordinate with your immediate environment. Ask a trusted neighbor to keep an eye out when you're away and to park in your driveway occasionally or pick up your mail. A neighbor's car or their lights on in a nearby house reinforces the appearance of activity and community attention. Use these 6 minutes to set a believable story of life happening inside your house. When burglars cannot confidently predict what will happen next, they usually decide it's not worth the gamble. 6 final 4 or 5 minutes, check, stash, and plan 25-30-30-0. The last stretch is your safety sweep and the habit-forming close. This is where all the temporary measures are secured correctly, and where you eliminate easy, emotional temptations that make break-ins profitable. Treat these final minutes like a pilot's pre-takeoff checklist. Fast, methodical, and non-negotiable. Begin with a quick, systematic sweep of doors and windows. Walk the perimeter and physically test each main entry, front door, back door, sliding doors, garage entry, and ground floor windows. Don't assume a lock engaged automatically. Push and pull to confirm latches are seated. Replace any temporary door wedges or dowels so they're not trip hazards, but leave them effective. Make sure secondary locks, chain locks, deadbolts, and internal bolts are all engaged. If you've used any adhesive window door alarms, double-check their placement and battery status if possible. Next, stash valuables and paperwork. Collect keys, wallets, phones, laptops, jewelry, cash, and any small high-value items and move them out of sight. Ideally, lock them in a safe, lockbox, or at least a hidden secure drawer. Important documents, passports, property papers, insurance policies should go into a fireproof lockbox or a secure location. If you don't own a home safe, a locked, heavy, inconspicuous container or safety deposit box off-site is better than plain visibility. Photograph and record serial numbers of expensive electronics now if you haven't already. This makes police reports and insurance claims faster and increases the cost of reselling stolen items to a fence. Address the tech side, set your phone to do not disturb but allow exceptions for your security apps or emergency contacts. Enable push notifications for doorbell cameras, motion sensors, and any monitoring service you have. These alerts are only useful if they reach you. If you rely on neighbor monitoring or a house sit service, send a quick message that you've activated the Fortify routine and to call you if they see anything suspicious. Make sure any smart locks are on the right mode and that backup power or battery levels are adequate. Before finishing, remove risky outdoor cues that contradict your narrative. If you staged a visible parked car or left out bins to create presence, ensure they look natural. A car parked backward in the driveway all the time is suspicious. In a different way, put away things you don't want damaged or used as leverage, but leave enough signs of life that the house remains discouraging to intruders. Finally, lock in the habit. Write down or save a short checklist on your phone. Perimeter check, locks engaged, valuables stashed, audio on, lights set, notify neighbor. Set a recurring reminder for high-risk times, nights, vacations, long work trips, or when you're hosting gatherings. Practice the routine once or twice so it becomes muscle memory. A tidy 30-minute ritual before bed or leaving town can become as automatic as locking your car. Keep the checklist simple. Complexity kills adherence. A quick note on safety. Never block exits or create barricades that prevent escape in an emergency. Your measures are meant to delay and deter, not trap occupants. Keep escape routes clear and ensure everyone in the household, including kids and caregivers, knows the protocol. When these final minutes are done, you've not only reduced the odds of a break-in for that outing, you've laid the groundwork for a long-term mindset shift. Small, repeatable actions done consistently are the single biggest defense against opportunistic crime. The 30-minute plan ends here, but the habit you build will be the real fortress. Bonus sections. Start small with a 30-day habit tracker. It's the difference between a one-off effort and a permanent shift in how your home looks to opportunists. Day 1-7 are simple. Do the 30-minute fortress routine nightly, or before you leave the house, test all locks and clear sight lines. Day 8-14, add one small upgrade. Install a motion light or buy a door jammer, and photograph valuables, record serial numbers. Day 15-21, focus on habits. Practice the sweep in under 10 minutes. Check batteries and alarms and test notification settings on any smart devices. Day 22-30, audits the system. Replace short screws and strike plates, update neighbor contacts, and create a printed quick check checklist that you stick near an exit. The tracker is intentionally reachable. Each day's task should take under 10 minutes, because consistency beats complexity. Next, know what burglars actually look for, so you can reverse engineer their thinking. The red flags that attract them are predictable. Unlit houses with dark entryways, overgrown shrubbery that hides a person at a window, obvious valuables visible from the street, easily accessible ground floor windows and sliding doors, and unattended packages or clutter that telegraphs a lack of oversight. They prefer the simplest route: unlocked doors, poor lighting, and no signs of neighbors or active occupants. By removing these signals, you remove your house from their shortlist. Think of your job as changing the story a burglar tells themselves when they scope your property. From quick and easy to too risky and slow. Decide early which fixes you can DIY and when to call a professional. Cheap, immediate deterrents. Dowels for sliding doors, timed lamps, motion lights, adhesive alarms, and door jammers are high-impact DIY wins and should be implemented the same day. More permanent structural issues like replacing rotten door frames, installing reinforced deadbolts, or wiring a monitored alarm system, or situations where a pro pays for themselves. If you suspect a pattern of attempted entries, or if your home has architectural vulnerabilities, many glass doors, weak garage access, hire a reputable locksmith or security installer. Professionals can also advise on insurance-compliant upgrades that may lower premiums. Here are the top 10 cheap items that pay off more than they cost. Timers and smart plugs create randomized lighting. A wooden dowel or metal rod secures sliding doors. A door jammer or portable door wedge forces delay. Motion sensor pathway lights increase visibility. Adhesive door window alarms provide instant noise when triggered. Security decals and signage add perceived monitoring. Inexpensive door chain or secondary lock adds another layer. Window film prevents easy glass cut access and hides interiors. A spare phone or Bluetooth speaker provides believable audio presence, and a small fireproof lockbox secures passports, cash, and documents. Combined, these inexpensive tools deliver visibility, delay, and detection, the three pillars of the plan. Finally, a quick low-friction script to ask neighbors for help will make Community Watch practical. Hi, I'm leaving town on a long shift this week. Can you keep an eye on my place and text me if you see anything odd? I'll do the same for you. Keep it friendly, offer reciprocity, and give a one-line list of what to watch for. Cars parked unusually, packages still at the door after 2 days. Lights off for an extended time. A neighbor's casual attention is one of the strongest, cheapest deterrents available. Closing call to action. Here's the promise in plain terms. Invest 30 minutes and you dramatically lower the chance of an opportunistic burglary. You won't make your home invincible, but you will remove it from the pool of easy targets. Do the visibility sweep, fortify entry points, create noise and detectable signs of life, and lock down valuables. That combination forces a would-be intruder to choose someone else. Do it now. Run the 30-minute plan tonight, or the next time you leave the house for more than an hour. Take a before and after photo, curb view, and you'll see the difference immediately. Then share it with a neighbor or on social media to spread the tactic. If you want more help, I can make a printable one-page checklist, a 30-day habit calendar you can tick off, or recommend specific products tailored to your home layout.